you have entered the fail zone. What is up? What is going on? Michelle, the Share Marketer here. Hello, Ella. Before I introduce my amazing guest today, I want to remind and welcome those who are new to listening to the podcast or viewing. This is Failures Are Individual Lessons, a podcast where we get raw and uncut about our failures and our mistakes with the end goal of realizing that they're simply lessons. And you know, when I have my guests on here, they are getting out of their comfort zone and they are being vulnerable about their personal experiences so that they can be of help to you. That said, let's dig right into today's episode. And I want to introduce to you this young lady. She is the founder of The Key to Your Coaching Business. Okay. She is from the UK, English born, living in Scotland, 20 years young, and she has a degree in management from the Robert Gordon University. She is hardworking and a determined young lady with a passion for helping others create financial freedom in their lives. On the other side of things, she's a singer and songwriter, and she's going to tell you a little bit about that. But the thing I want you guys to know about Ella is, with her coaching business, she is able to help you get, 5 paying clients within 90 days. She supports coaches to build their business and start making money full-time online through social media. Let me say it again, 5 paying clients within 90 days. That's badass, okay? So yes, and you are. So, but we're gonna have fun today because what I've done is, if you've watched before, this is a little bit of a different layout. I'm trying to create a little ambiance because she is my first female interviewee, and we're gonna have just like a little girls talk. We've got our drinks and our comfiness here. Yes, girl. So, all right, I'm excited. My amazing guest today is Ella Winters. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. I truly, truly thank you for taking time out to be with us. And the first thing I want to say is, I asked her what is a quote that she lives by, and she says, everything happens for a reason. That's one of my favorites too. So kudos to you for having a lot of wisdom. But I wanted you to say something for us in Turkish, because you spent some time living in Turkey when you were young?
Girl, first thing you're making me say, and it's in Turkish, yeah? I got you. Okay, I'm gonna say, ben küçükken Türkiye'de yaşıyordum, which means when I was little, I lived in Turkey. There you go.
Okay, thank you. You guys know I love accents, so I just had to have her say something. And as you can tell, you were born in the UK.
Yes.
Living in Scotland.
Yes, I was born in Norfolk, and it's a reasonably small city, and then whisked over to Turkey for like 5 years. Mm-hmm. Random time of my life, but one of the best. And then whisked again over to Scotland. Never knew Scotland even existed at the time, and now I'm here. So
wow, you're going all over the place. I love your accent. Ella actually has a management degree from the Robert Gordon University. Bravo. And what made you, tell us about your coaching journey. What made you get into that?
Yeah, sure. Well, where do I even start? I was actually working in London for a bit of time. I kind of just took my life up and just moved to London. And I ended up working in the music industry with Kiss, the rock band. And we would do some cool stuff with their tours, and then obviously then Corona kicked in, and the music industry, unfortunately, and the events industry kind of went, and with that my job also went. So so I had to figure out what I was doing, right? So I was in London. I moved back to Scotland to hide away from the world, because unfortunately everywhere we couldn't go anywhere, right? So I ended up moving back to Scotland and no idea what I was going to do with my life. So alongside this, I've been a singer-songwriter, and I was writing for artists and still am. And I kind of wanted to figure out what I was going to do. I wanted to do some traveling. I wanted to do something along songwriting. I wanted to help people achieve something in their lives. And naturally, that just led to me becoming a coach. But first of all, I created a course on heartbreak, how to get over your heartbreak, because unfortunately in my life there's been a few of them. So I created a course and it flopped. I bought a course myself and figured out how to create courses and do ads and things like that, and money was just going down the drain in ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I was trying to figure out, well, how do I do something that's not going to cost me so much money to start out when I want to do something online? And that was not using adverts, that was using something more organic. And I started organic marketing in affiliate marketing and selling other people's products. And I did some good stuff with that, and I started building a business, and naturally then that led me to coaching. And now I'm helping people create that life, the freedom lifestyle, with their coaching business. So I was coaching marketers for a while. Naturally, that's led to me now coaching coaches.
And did the coaches, is it in any niche, or is it a specific niche, or?
No, because the system that I use works for any niche. So I don't want to deprive anyone else from any coaches from using it, right? So I want to make sure that I'm working in any niche because it works. As long as you coach, it works.
That's right. That's awesome. What I want to get to is the nugget of today's episode, which is you're going to share with us a very personal, well, maybe a couple failures that you've gone through, but there was a big lesson.
Yes, maybe a couple, maybe too many, one too many.
But there was a big lesson that Ella's going to share with us today. And I really believe this is going to be something that everyone can relate to. When you hear what she's gone through and the lesson that she took from this, it is powerful. So that said, Ella, let's get juicy. Tell us about what the failure, and then let's get to the deets.
You know what? I need a sip of wine for this.
Okay, I'll join you.
It's funny because obviously we're running the coaching business and working with my clients, and it's a funny thing to come on here and talk very personal things. You're like, well, everyone's going to watch it, so you definitely need the wine or whatever we're drinking.
And I truly, truly appreciate your vulnerability. I really do.
Do you know what? I wanted to do this because when you asked me what my failure was, I've had many failures. I'm 26 years old. There's always going to be, there's learning curves, but I thought this one was important because I know a lot of people in my generation, women in my generation, are suffering from this because our generation are not necessarily, it will make sense in a minute, won't it? So let's just get into it. I wanted to talk about losing my self-confidence due to multiple failed relationships, if you would like to call them that. And that's kind of what I wanted to get into because I think it would help a lot of people out, yeah?
Yes.
So a bit about what I was like as a kid. I was desperate to be loved, right? I had crushes everywhere, from my local pool in Turkey to my school to, everywhere I went, there was a crush. And I was always desperate to be loved. And it comes a little bit from my mum, where every time I'd go to a new school, because I went to like 10 schools, every time that I'd go to a new school, she said, this is the moment. He'll open the door, he'll sweep his hair, because I liked Zac Efron at the time. He'll sweep his hair and he'll be there. And this is the moment he's going to sweep you off your feet. So for years, that's how I thought it worked. So I'm thinking this guy's going to sweep me off my feet. And when I came back from Turkey, I went to a boarding school for a while. Mm-hmm. And I ended up thinking everyone there looked like Zac Efron. I mean, they're beautiful, posh boys. They look beautiful, but I couldn't handle it. I was like, my dreams come true. I ended up leaving after like a term because I couldn't go through with it. Yeah. What? So you know what? I was quite lucky when I moved to Scotland because I met my young love. I was with him for like 4 years and we had a lovely relationship and he taught me everything, right? And I taught him everything and it was a beautiful relationship and I never thought that it could be this difficult. And I look now at how lucky I was that I didn't know how vulnerable and sad you could be in dating. I always thought dating was going to be this wonderful thing, this Disney story. And it all changed for me when I moved to London, because I moved there by myself and I was very vulnerable, and I lived there by myself, you know, and I was meeting different people from different walks of life, and I ended up being very unlucky. I ended up meeting a man who ended up being a relationship that I never knew about. Yeah. And I went through a relationship, if you can call it that, with someone that thought they were a rock star and just keeps doing it to multiple women and still doing it. And I ended up then having a long distance relationship that ended up ending very abruptly. And it just, you know, multiple things were happening that weren't.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go on.
Well, I was just going to ask, when you said about the rock star and what he did and he's continuing to do it, was he faking, like lying on who he was, or what was he doing that?
It's funny you mentioned this one. This one was a turning point for me in my life. And the reason being is because I really did think we were in love, because he treated me like that's what it was. So he's very, very much, I mean, he writes songs about it. He was very much, you know, into me. He's into you. I'm in love with you. You know, you're the one I'm going to marry. He knows he's lying to you.
Oh, damn.
But he's doing it again and again and again. And I'm watching it now happen. You know what? It breaks my heart, because now I want to call these girls up and be like, I'm so sorry. I want to tell you this, you know, I want to save them.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I've noticed in him specifically is he has no guilt. Yes, he doesn't care that he's doing it, okay? And so the kind of point where I was getting to was it was happening multiple times. And it's funny because I then started having, you know, I would start going back to my family and saying, this is happening, this is flaky, this person's flaky. And my brother is in a very committed and loving relationship, just got engaged. My parents, you know, my mum and stepdad are in love, and my dad just likes being single. But I always saw this love, you know, this, and I always wanted that. Right. And for some reason, I kept falling into this trap of men that weren't emotionally available. Ooh. And it was happening multiple times, you know, it was happening multiple times, and even just in the dating world. So there was a recent event which I went on a date with a guy, not going to mention any names, but was in a very similar field to me. Okay. And was very much into his healing as well and helping people, and was also wants to help animals, and everything aligned. Yeah, you know, everything aligned. Okay. And it made sense. And second date, he calls me up just before we're going out, says, you know, I can't wait for you to meet my family at Christmas and get dressed up. I'm taking you out. Did all these things, you know, pointing to the right signs. And it's funny to say it. And after we had the meal, we're walking along the street and just says, I'm just not ready for this. And kind of just leaves. Wait. I want to meet your parents, get ready, get dressed up. Tells me to get ready. Like, honestly, my family was so angry about this, because they keep saying, like, Ella, it's not you. It's not you. How can this keep happening to you? Because you're a nice girl. They say I'm not bad looking. I'm talented. You know, all these things that they say I have got going for me. It's hard for me to now believe. And it's one after the other, after the other, after the other, right? And it's now funny talking about this, because the reason I brought it up and the reason it's my failure is because it took me a while to realize that it's not my failure.
Oh, now see, I think a lot of us women that go through similar experiences of, why is this relationship not working out? Why am I seeming to be attracted to the emotionally distant men. I think that we tend to think it's us.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me?
You know what? I mean, I'm still going through it. It's still a lesson that I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm coming on here going, it's solved, I figured it out for the world and every woman on earth. You know, that's not what it is. I'm coming on here because it happened to me, and I'm sure it's happening to a lot of people. But I wanted to say that I realized I'm not the problem, even though it's happening to me multiple times, and my self-esteem is low. I mean, it's low because you know, well, it was worse than it is now. And I've come to this realization that it's not me. It goes to my quote, everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the life that I'm building now, I'm sorry to them, does not work with what they're doing in their lives, because I am shooting up.
Yeah.
I literally, I'm helping people with their lives, and I'm building a great business doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I plan to go and see the world as soon as, you know, Corona, if we may mention it, is over. I plan to go and see the world, meet amazing people, and I will not be thinking about them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But the thing is, I wanted to be vulnerable here and spread the message for women that are going through the same thing. Because there's a funny thing to come on here and talk about, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't have the solution, but I had two options. I either had the option to let it defeat me or let it help me better myself. So every time someone hurts me, don't worry, I'm good, because it helps me better myself. So I kind of wanted to come on here and just say, like, I wasn't the problem, but parts of my low self-esteem, not figuring out my career yet, not loving my body, not moving back to my family, all these things make sense as to why I keep finding these people.
So your mindset, do you think that is a big, I mean, because your health, your self-esteem, all that has to go with your mindset. Do you feel that as you've grown your coaching business and you have all these aspirations, do you believe that that's going to bring the different kind of man because you have actually shifted?
100%. I think each relationship that I had, if you can call them that, is has shaped me as a person, right? And to be a coach, you have to have lived through stuff. So you have to have lived through heartbreak or struggles in your job or business or something, right? So that you could then say, well, I've done that.
Right.
This is where I am now. That's where I can help you. So I had to go through these struggles in order to build this business. And the point I'm trying to get at is when you're not feeling, yes, exactly. When you're not feeling your best, you're gonna attract not the best.
I agree. Yeah? I agree 100%. After my divorce, I was the lowest, very, very low. I had never been that low in my life. I had no self-confidence, gone. And I considered myself a strong, independent woman, but it does that. It does that to you. And when you were saying about the mindset, I'm not, girl, child, I don't even want to tell you the kind of nonsense that we're reaching out, you know, on these dating apps and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm going to be alone forever. This is crazy out here. But when I shifted I got back into the personal development and working on my mindset and realized that I've got to walk in forgiveness and I've got to see the different things that I've gone through as gratitudes because they're lessons. Then I feel that that's when things are going to really open up, because now I have that self-confidence. Regardless of everything that's going on around me, I believe in me. Mm-hmm. And so I truly appreciate you sharing that with us, because like you said, if you're going to help people with your coaching business, you've got to have understood, yeah, you went through some bullshit and some hell, but you learned from it. Mm-hmm. And that ability is what you're going to help your clients with. Exactly.
And I think I wouldn't be here where I am right now if it hadn't happened. This is what I meant by that changed me, because I'm grateful to these people, because they have changed me. They've made me take a journey which maybe I wouldn't have gone down. And how many people I wouldn't have been helping. Now I'm helping people, and the people that I'm going to meet that I'm going to help. Think of all those people, and then the people they're going to help, and then the others are going to help. You know, that it's like that. It goes on and on. And if I hadn't gone through that, then I wouldn't be here helping those people. So I'm grateful that it happened. And you have to think about it like that, you know. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. And that's why I live by that every day. And I'm now a positive person. I meditate in the mornings. I'm reading all the time. I'm exercising. I've been vegan 3.5 years, but I'm now doing like a keto vegan diet, which is making me feel great. And I'm working my business. I'm helping people. All these things just make you a different person, because you end up being this. I'm a super positive person. I've got positive energy. If someone's going to drain me, and we like to call it a sink in our family, drain us, then I don't want them in my life.
Right. And that gives you the power, because now you are strong in what you're doing and believing in yourself. That gives you the power to say, be gone. I don't want to have any parts of it. So
yeah. You are not the problem. You are not the problem. If you feel like you're going through this, you are not the problem. But maybe you need to look at your life and see what you can do to make sure that you are not attracting these people, and also that you don't feel that you need them, because the positive person would realize that they're not good enough for you.
Well, that you actually read my mind, because I was going to ask you to give us an example. Well, maybe two. I'm going to say from the story of the get dressed, let me meet your family, to goodbye, and then the rock star. Can you give a lesson from each one of those, specific, now that you look back, that you learned?
Yeah. I think, do you know what? You struggle to know what to look for at the beginning, because they do say all the right things at the beginning. I think the left me in the city one, at the time, obviously on the phone, was saying all the right things that I looked for, because the other people were so shit, you know. So, you know, the rock star said the right things, didn't do the right things. Now I could notice that. Whereas you have to look at their actions, not their words. It's true. But when somebody's taking you out for a meal and telling you to dress up and doing the right things, you're going to think it's a good thing. Yeah. I think it comes back to our generation again. One of my passions, one of my things that I really want to achieve, is something that will help people get over dating apps. I think they're toxic. I don't think dating apps are the way forward. Some people are lucky enough to meet someone nice, but the experience that I've had on them is, it's not even like they're just looking for a shag, is it? It's not even like that. They just don't know.
Wait, what's that word you said?
I said a naughty word. I wasn't not sure if I was allowed to or not. You know what a shag is?
No. Wait a minute. That's why I don't know.
British thing, I think. It's a British thing. It means to have sex.
Oh, okay. So there, okay. I'm sorry. I interrupted you because I needed to. Okay, so say again.
So some people are looking for that. I think, and some of them are. Do you know what? I don't have the answers. Like I said, it's something that I went through. I'm now bettering myself. I can't do anything about these people. They're going to keep doing this. They're going to keep going on and doing it. But I've taken myself off all dating apps, and I will not take anything less than what I deserve anymore. And that's kind of the lesson, you know, because I've worked on myself. I've done the inner work.
Good. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And I think that's the key. That's the key, regardless of Joe Blow or Tom Thumb. I don't want to say any names. I don't know. But regardless of them, we have to do the inner work for ourselves. And I truly believe in proximity, and I believe in, what you give off, you attract.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really believe that. And from your story, I mean, it's evident. And from mine, and I think, we could bring several women on here, and I think we would hear the same thing when we stop and look at how did we view ourselves? Yeah. Then are we that Crazy to think, well, why wouldn't they view me that same way? I mean, I know it's hard to swallow. I know that. But think about it. If we're not believing in ourselves, if we're having the low self-esteem, how can someone else see the greatness in us? And don't get me wrong, there's beautiful love stories and, you meet people that find, I'm not saying, just like you said, we have all of the solutions, but I do believe that doing the inner work is critical, not even just to dating, but to, your purpose in life. What are you going to do? How are you going to help people? Your family relationships, all of that has to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
there was another story where I thought I'd met the one, and that happens multiple times actually, but I actually, I had a best friend, right? I had a best friend that I loved so much. Didn't realize I loved him until he met a woman. And then I was like, oh, I like this actually. Hang on a minute, this hurts. And it hurt for 3 years.
Oh my God. Well, wait, yeah. Did he know that you liked him?
Not for like 2 years later, I think. And then by then it was too late. He was already in love with that girl.
Oh, so you were just friends?
Yeah, well, yeah. That was, yeah. We won't go into detail. But yeah, you know what? I wrote a song about it. This is the whole point of, the songwriting side as well for me was always my therapy. I've written many, many, many heartbreak songs, and I like to say that women that write them, right, they go through these things for a reason. There was times when I was going through these breakups and I was like, well, it's because I haven't written a song in 2 months. So therefore they needed to break my heart so I could write a banger, So after that, I started getting some good songs coming out, And one of the songs I wrote for that guy was called Burn, and it's on Spotify, so check it out, guys.
Ooh, Burn, okay. Get it, girl. Ella Winter. Are you singing?
Yeah. So I wrote it with a guy called Mike, a friend of mine, and I sing on it. And I've been working with one of my best friends, Andreas, who's my producer now, and we've been working on some tracks to release. So I've been doing that. I do that alongside the coaching, and the whole point of having this freedom lifestyle initially was so I could do that. But then obviously it works hand in hand, and that's kind of what, to conclude the coaching side of things. You want to have that life where you can choose to do things on a daily basis. If you want to have that life going to write a song or go for a walk whenever you want to, then this is what you need to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And this is something that I'm aspiring to. I want to do something that I love for a living and also get paid and also be serving people. You're doing all three of those. So kudos, bravo. I mean, when I grow up, I want to be like you, because that is something that I'm serious. I think a lot of people think that it's far-fetched and out of reach, but it isn't.
The thing is, you have to be a certain type of person. You have to want more. Yeah. It's not an easy journey. You have to want more. I went through the heartbreak. I had jobs that I hated. And I've always been bullied at school. No one's ever really liked me. The closest friends I've had is the group of my coaching business now. This is the funniest thing. I've got a few friends that I've dotted around the world, but I've never had that big friendship group that they've loved me and I love them back, because I was weird. I'm a weirdo. I'm weirdo because I want more. That's
wow.
it.
So I got to tell you, that coaching group that you're talking about, I have to say that I truly feel the same way. I have been a loner for a long time. And until this group came along, I didn't have friends. And it's really powerful when you can align with people that want more, that do the inner work, that want to serve and help people.
Yes.
So, we wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for that. So I'm so thankful for that. And you are a beautiful spirit. You're powerful. You're energetic. You're talented. And let me ask you this. I am going to be sure to put Ella's contact information in the description area on the YouTube channel and on the Anchor.fm podcast. But is there, and I'm not familiar with Spotify, is there like a link or something I could put down for people?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. I mean, I need to get some more stuff on there. I have to be honest. Like, we're we're a bit delayed in the old releasing stuff. We're just so
That's
writing all the time, but we'll get some stuff on there. But for now, go listen to Burn. It's
okay.
it's a piano-based sad song about my best friend who I loved. So there you go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't wait to listen.
The funny thing is, now he knows that too. Like, I didn't know that was about me. No, I'm joking. You know.
Okay. I was like, oh my God, did we let something out the bed? But thank you so much for being vulnerable. So I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I want to ask you, could you just summarize, kind of reiterate the failure and the lesson, so our audience can, just walk away with something that they can, truly bless them?
Yeah, I think the failure is, I've had some failed relationships, if you can call them that, and the point that I'm trying to make really is that even though it was a failure in my life, it wasn't me that was the problem. And my lesson that I learned was that I needed to maybe work on my inner self in order to attract the right people, because I was just attracting people that weren't right for me because they weren't emotionally available. They weren't in the stage in their lives where they can give me what I needed. And that's because I wouldn't. So just do your inner work, and that's kind of the lesson really, because I'm in a good place now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing what you did. I am amazing.
Yes, you are. And, I just want to say, so many of us think we're the failure because of a failed or multiple failed relationships, when it's not actually us. Yeah, it's a failed relationship and you walk away and you learn from it. And in this case, you have learned, I have to grow myself. You have to do the inner work. But what I think is powerful, again, and I love it. I'm not the failure. You're not the failure. The relationship might have failed. What lesson, and I would say this to anyone watching, and even if you're a man, it goes both ways.
I hope so. I hope you listen.
Yeah. What lesson can you learn? Because there's some flagrant women out there. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
It's not one-sided. I think the point that I'm trying to make though was, I would be coming on here, and I'm the type of person that would be coming on here and saying, actually, you know what, I effed up. I did something. But in these situations, I didn't do anything wrong. And that's the point I'm trying to make really, is that it wasn't me that doing anything wrong. Therefore, I had to figure out what was going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for clearing that up. Now but still powerful, because a lot of times, I'm going to say 99.999% of the time, when a relationship fails, we blame ourselves. Period. We blame ourselves. Even if we didn't think we did anything wrong, somewhere along the way, I did something.
Oh, I spent night on night going, oh, I shouldn't have said this, or I shouldn't have said this. Because I tell you what, girls, please listen to this. If you are questioning whether he cares enough about you, or if he's going to stay, or if he's the right one for you, he's not. Because I knew in my heart and in my gut that it wasn't right.
Wow.
But I loved one of them or two of them enough to stay. Doesn't mean it was right. I was just in a place where I couldn't say, actually, you know what, you're not treating me right.
You didn't have the confidence.
You know what, I've always been confident. It's not that. And in fact, the rock star person was the one that changed my life a bit, because it hurt. It hurt so much. I had the option to really get defeated by it or really change my life around, and I chose to turn my life around, and I'm not looking back, and he knows it.
Wow, that's awesome, Ella. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, I guess I want to leave with you telling them I am going to have the information down in the description area, but what's the best way that people can find you?
Yeah, so I mainly talk to my audience and my clients on my Facebook page, which is actually my private page, Ella Winter on Facebook. I do have a group, it's The Key to Your Coaching Business, and my email is ella@thekey.one.
Ooh, I love it. And you guys check out, regardless of if you're going down the coaching path or not, check out her Facebook page. Her content, I think you just had a post about motivation and discipline. Her content is spot on. It's banging. You got to check it out. And again, Ella, I want to thank you so, so much for being on here, being vulnerable, telling your little secrets. We appreciate it. And remember, guys, what I always say, keep your head up and keep moving forward. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.